Hello again, YouTube. So, I am currently creating, and this is what you're watching right now, an About Me video. I went to my trans support group that is on Facebook, and I asked them to submit questions for this video because I don't have an audience yet, or I possibly may never. I mean, I don't want to act as if I expect to actually be important on the platform ever, but so they've given me a few questions, and currently I only have a few questions. So I'll be posting this video once I get more and once I can add to it. There might be a few more cuts and edits than there normally is in my videos so far, which I think is a good thing. I think I've been doing the bare minimum so far. So first question from the trans support group is other YouTubers that I look up to. Who are they? And I think it's a very good question because at this point YouTube's been around. As long as I can remember, I know there's a fact, there's a number out there that's the actual answer for how long it's been, but I don't know it. And so it's been around for quite a while, at least in my mind. When I think of YouTubers that I look up to, when I think of YouTubers that whenever they have a video, I'm going to want to watch it, because not just because I like their content, but I like them as a person. If I met them in person, I think I would be starstruck. I'm not one for celebrities. Like, I can't think of a single celebrity offhand that I would be like, oh yeah, I would really like to meet them. Or if I met them, I didn't know what I was going to do. It's just like, oh yeah, you exist. I'm aware you exist. Calm down. But with these YouTubers, it's not that same way. So first on the list, Philip DeFranco from the DeFranco Show. I will be honest. I found him because of SourceFed, which is I believe he started the company or the group, whatever it is technically. He sold it a few years ago, and he went on to make the DeFranco Show, which I now watch every day, every weekday at least, that he posts. And honestly, I hated him at first in SourceFed. I think that the type of content they made there didn't lend itself to who he is. And when he finally got his own show, when he made his own show, his new show, and his news show, not new show, it's great. I try not to miss an episode, and I'm really interested in what he has to say on most issues. All issues, I don't know. Because he strives to have a conversation, and I can't think of an issue and a conflict that would be harmed by more conversation. Conversation is a good thing to have, and as a person who loves talking to people and getting to know more people, talking about anything and everything, sometimes I get accused of being far too argumentative. Well, no, I'm just talking. We happen to be talking about this, so I'm talking about it. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm talking. And I don't know. I really like Phil DeFranco. I will stay subscribed to him for as long as his channel still exists. Aside from him, there's Bread Mom, Steph Sanyati. I don't know. So she's a trans YouTuber, and she posts transition updates and other videos. Sometimes she goes on YouNow and she cooks. That's fun. I've talked to her a few times that way. When I first came out, when I started transitioning, I actually wrote her a letter, handwritten, and I mailed it to the P.O. box that was listed on her YouTube channel. And 2 months, maybe 2.5 months after that, it came back to me saying the P.O. box never existed. That's unfortunate. I've thrown a lot of it away now. Maybe I should have kept it. I've thrown it away. I don't remember what it said. It was probably just thanking her a lot because her channel really helped me out, and I'm very happy for her. She posted last month that she'll be finally getting SRS surgery, so that's always good to hear when someone in the community gets to do that. Gets to do something they've been wanting and needing for such a long time. She got her FFS done, and I was there. I was there for that. I watched all her updates as they were posted, and it was very interesting. It was helpful. I know I want FFS, and I know I want SRS, and she's a great YouTuber, and I will, although I don't watch her as religiously as I watch others, I've missed handfuls of videos from her, and I don't feel the need to go back unless the title kind of hints it's something that I would really be interested in watching specifically. I'll never say no to watching her. She's in my top list. Obviously, she's the second one that came to mind. So I used to be, moving on, I used to be really, really big on Rhett and Link. Their Good Mythical Morning show, and I watched them before Good Mythical Morning, but they really took off a few years back with Good Mythical Morning. And I watched them every day at one point. I watched maybe the first 3 or 4 seasons without missing an episode. I don't know how many they have now. It just kind of fell away, though. I found they were getting more and more ridiculous, and not necessarily a bad way. It's just not why I was there, and not what I was looking for. I think if I met them, wouldn't get along with Red. And get along with Link, not that I have anything against Red, but if I met them, it wouldn't be near the same as if I met DeFranco or Steph. Oh my god, I can't believe I made it this far into the list. I'm only 3 channels in, but Uppercase Chase. He has a podcast that is the Transcast, the You're So Brave podcast, which is a joke because as a person who's transitioned, he has heard people say, "Oh, you're so brave for doing this," and it's a joke because that gets old, and they don't even mean it. It's like, no, they don't understand what they're saying. We're not brave. We are very commonly terrified, and we're doing this because we have no choice. It has nothing to do with bravery. Anyway, they talk about a lot of trans issues and non-trans issues, but it's 2 trans guys, him and Aaron. I don't know Aaron's channel's name. Sorry, Aaron. But he's great, and I would I would very much suggest that you go watch him. He has his own channel, Uppercase Chase, and then the podcast channel You're So Brave, as I mentioned. So, other YouTubers. I don't know if there is any. Obviously I watch more than that. But those are the top ones, and I think it's very telling that those are the ones that came to my mind when I tried to answer this question more or less on the spot. I was submitted that question 10 minutes ago, and this video is already 8 minutes long, so I didn't have much time to think at all. Yeah, those are my top YouTubers and the YouTubers that I look up to. I like what they did, and I hope to do something similar with Steph and Chase. Their videos are very fun, very community-based, and they get people involved. And they make people feel better. They help people. With Philip DeFranco, you get the sense, watching his videos, he's a very good person. And his stances, while they will not overlap with yours all the time, and he will point that out himself, he always makes allowances for your stances. He will listen to you. He will have a conversation with you. And part of the reason that I say at the end of my videos, make good choices, keep good company, is because I feel too many good people, too many people who could be great individuals. They have everything just wrecked by one bad choice or their choice of friends. I had a group of friends a while back, and I'm sure I will tell this story on the channel, but I had a group of friends a while back, and they weren't good friends. They attempted to ruin my life. They almost ended my life. And that's not the company you keep. When I tell you, make good choices, keep good company, I am telling you, be careful. Because I want good things for you. Regardless of who you are, I want you to have the best chance at being what you can be. And that got very off topic. But Philip DeFranco and his, persistence in his hope for humanity always makes me think about my logic for my outro. And so that's my favorite YouTubers and a bit about me. I will continue this video when I get the next question in a couple seconds for you guys. Okay? Okay. So, question number 2. This one's a more, a lighter question than the last, and I think it's going to be a lot shorter. Dogs or cats? So I've had many pets growing up, and I'm going to have to say dogs, and this is why. Don't crucify me, cat people. Dogs, I feel, are more consistent. Whether that's because they're less intelligent, I don't know. There's a case to be made there. But I know what I'm getting with a dog. Give me 20 dogs, and I guarantee you 18 of them will be basically the same person. They're simple, and they're fun, and they're good to be around. They help. Cats, not to say they don't help. And they're a lot more complicated, and they take a lot more out of you, and I don't think that's what a pet's for. So I've had cats, such as my old favorite cat in the world, Allie. I had her for years. She was fantastic. She was very loving, would always run straight up to me when I would go outside, and had her for such a long time. Then there's cats. I had an old cat. Her name was Honey, because of her color. She was a bitch cat. That's all she was. She never wanted to be around people. She obviously didn't care about anyone or anything. And she was mean. And I feel like unless something has happened to the animal, to the dogs would never be mean like that for no reason. I've never met one that was mean for no reason. So yeah, consistency, so I can more or less know what I'm getting into, I would say dogs. I've had some good cats. I've had Allie or Alley Cat. I usually have 1 or 2 or 3 or 7 names for my pets that are very similar. I've had Simon, who was a Siamese cat named Simon because Siamese. I didn't choose that name, my principal did, but I took him home from school because he was abandoned there. And he was my cat. He was a good cat. He liked me. He didn't like any other people, and I'm okay with that. Dogs normally like more than one person. But if a cat only likes me, then I'm going to get along with it. But if a cat doesn't like me and I don't know why or what I've done, I don't, that's not okay for me. Like, what did I do? I need to know. I can help, I can change. Give me a chance, at least. I don't know. So that's my stance on dogs or cats. Both great. Prefer dogs. Currently back home, there are 2 dogs waiting for me. I don't know what kind. One is a Chihuahua mix. I know that much. Very small. The other one looks exactly like the Chihuahua mix, except isn't a Chihuahua mix, so she's just a bigger version that I've had longer. I live with my grandma when I'm not at college. Those are the dogs that I just mentioned are at my mom's house. My grandma's dogs are a Yorkshire Terrier, blah, can't talk. So this is English, blah, no. And a Chihuahua Pug, or a Pugwawa. Those are good dogs. Again, they're simple. Dogs are simple. Dogs do what they have to do. and they don't do more than that, and they never upset you. Alright. Okay, so question 3. So I was asked day or night, and this is a really simple question. I'm going to say night, because the days can be hot, and I don't like it. Way too hot. I like when it's hot enough to not have to wear so many layers, but I would rather be cold than hot, so I'm going to have to say night. I was also asked, question number 4, my favorite memory. So the answer to this question took a lot of thought. Like, I didn't want to be... All my answers, all of them, were just, everyone that came to my mind, extremely depressing. And that's sad. But I didn't want to be like, oh, my favorite memory is when I get to sleep. Because life, you know? Because I don't want to have to be. I don't want to have to exist. But that's not okay. That's not the answer. So when I first transferred to this college, there was an RA in my building, and he's graduated now. But I'm not going to name him, because I haven't talked to him about mentioning him on YouTube. He was, at the time, the president of Pride Club, which is the LGBTQ plus organization at my school. And he's trans. And I wasn't out. I wasn't out to anyone. I wasn't out to myself. And I was walking to the university center where they have some of the food one day, because human beings eat food. And there was an event going on. I don't know what club it was for, or who put it on, but they were giving out t-shirts. And the t-shirts said, I'm blank, but I'm not blank. And it was breaking stereotypes. A friend of mine, I say friend, someone who I had seen once or twice, that's it, that was my knowledge of them, I'd seen them once or twice, was passing out the shirts, and she had a shirt that said, I'm a rape survivor, but I'm not ashamed. Things like that. And the guy, the RA I mentioned, he was walking by the stand. I guess he had just got his shirt. Maybe he was part of the event, maybe not. But he had a shirt that said, I'm trans, but I'm not confused. And if we think of what was between me and coming out at that point, as a wall, that was definitely the first smack into that wall. And if I'm being honest with myself, at least a part of me could have said at the time, oh my god, this is going to happen, and I don't know what to do. Because from that point in my life, before that in my life, I could see myself never coming out, never being okay, never being happy. But at that point, I realized I'd passed the point of no return, even though I'd changed nothing, and that it was inevitable. And yes, I was scared. Yes, I don't know. And that's kind of a very apt description of it. But anyway, this RA, this guy, the president of Pride, I didn't talk to him very much at all. Over that semester. Some bad things happened in my life, which I will tell you eventually if you stick around in this channel. I'm an open book. It just takes a while to tell some stories. There's only so much you can say in a given amount of time. Things went bad. Things went very bad. And when I did come out, I told him. He was the third person in the world to know. And It was great. He's, to this day, one of my favorite people in the world. And the favorite memory, that was all a bit of backstory. He plays guitar, and he was having an event with this Christian organization. Normally, I try and avoid the Christians. They don't tend to be very reasonable people in my experience. But he was having an event called Two Humans, One Message, or Two People, One... I don't know what they specifically titled it. Where this guy, who I think his name was Fish, that was his performing name at least, was playing songs and singing, and so was the RA. At that point, the RA was the only person in the world to know my name. And I only went to that event because the RA was there. And I'm sure that I'm a bit much. I can be excessive, I can be needy, I can be clingy, and this RA, it was not as if I was pursuing any romantic relationship or anything like that. So, there was a pop-up on my computer which caused the video to close out. I hope it's still there. But as I was saying, I wasn't pursuing any romantic relationship or anything like that. I'm sure it came off as that. Because that's just how I am. It's gonna always come off that way. The favorite memory. So I went to his concert, and that's how I normally think of it. It's his concert. That was why I came. He played some songs, some original, some covers, and at the end of it, I don't remember the exact context. I came up to him after the concert, like directly after. We were still in the same room as the concert, and there was a hug. Whether he hugged me or I hugged him, I don't know. And quietly, so that no one could hear, because he knew better. He knew that I wasn't as out as I could be. He said that he loved me, and he called me by name. He called me Alexis. And not only was that basically the first time I'd ever heard the name in reference to me from another person, but another long story, which I probably won't go into right now. Hugs are important to me. That was like, if you could do everything right, if you could do everything exactly correct to help someone, to make them happy at that point, that's what he did. And if he's watching this and he knows who he is, I've never let it be hidden. I've never tried to mask the fact that I think you're one of the greatest people who exist. And you should remember that. And good luck. And that's where I'm going to end this video, because it may have only been a couple questions, 4 questions, but I think we're over 20 minutes, possibly 25 minutes, and I don't have the base for that. People, I know that takes up time, and So until next time, until part 2 or the next video, make good choices, keep good company, and I will talk to you later. Bye!